So, Mark, did you see that video from Bill Krakenberger shaming his friend for liking casino free gifts? There were some Dunkin' Donuts, some bowls. What is it about these things that draws every gambler in?
I know we talk about like the turkeys every year, how people like line up in the hundreds to get a free, $35 turkey or whatever it is. And we always joke about that. But yeah, this does hit home. I mean, I think I have like a couple $1,000 silverware sets in the drawers back there.
Yeah, I got my Golden Knights pullover fleece with Station Casinos on the side. My wife loves these things. She's like, we just got back yesterday. She's like, I missed the gift at Station Casinos. I'm like, who cares? Like, who cares? But it is a thing, I guess.
I always like when I get the mailers, I look it up online and I see how much I could buy it. And it's normally like $19.
If that, sometimes it's even worse.
Yeah.
So the big news this week, or one of the big stories, was the president coming to town, and he was at Circa. He did a speech for his no tax on tips whole proposal that he has done, and certainly that's very popular here in Las Vegas, and a lot of support for that. But not only that, he was around Circa. I think he was at the table games, tons of videos coming out from all over the floor, and it looked like they were having a good time down there.
Yeah, it was cool, that he got to go, and I think he rolled some dice and all that and gambled a little bit. And it seemed like people were excited that he was in town and checking everything out. And if the no tips thing goes through, I think that'll be big for the service industry in Vegas and elsewhere. I thought an interesting question I saw on Twitter, I don't remember who posted it, was like, will you tip less if they're not paying taxes on it? And I could see people getting upset, like saying, I pay taxes on all the money I earn. You should pay it on everything you earn. I'm going to give you less. So I wonder if this ends up being like a net negative if it goes through.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure some people will do that, but I think most people probably wouldn't even think too much about it. I can see opinions on both sides of this. I don't know what the right answer is. I know certainly it's popular for people here, and that's why he did it here. He made that promise here initially during the campaign, and he has followed through with that, I believe, with an executive order, and now he's kind of pushing to make this happen. So we will see how it all turns out, but it was sort of a spectacle. And that's what Vegas is all about. So him coming here, yeah, it was a very Vegas sort of thing.
Should we label Trump Circa fanboy now?
I think he's more of a Trump fanboy, right? He has to stay at his own place first.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe he does it like Adele, where he stayed, he owns Trump, but he stayed at Circa. I don't know.
So we have some news from MGM Grand that the Netflix Bites is opening February 20th. That is in MGM Grand. It's near where Ka is. So in that sort of corner of the casino, and they're going to have breakfast and lunch daily 7 to 2, and then dinner will be Sunday through Thursday 5 to 10, Friday and Saturday 5 to midnight. And they describe it as the ultimate Netflix dining experience, serving up bites and drinks inspired by some of your favorite Netflix shows. They had previously done this in LA with mixed reviews, so we'll see how it goes. But this is part of MGM's transition. We talked about the new rooms, and there's some other new venues coming, and it seems like they are trying to make MGM nice again.
I mean, I don't know that this does that, but I do like that MGM's investing in the other stuff. I'm sure it'll be popular with the Instagram, TikTok influencer crowd. They'll get people in there to do that and experience their shows, and like the younger generation. And maybe that's good to get them into the casino, over to Vegas or in that type of thing, into MGM particularly. But I don't think it's going to draw like the long-term Vegas person. It definitely doesn't seem like it's anything I'd want to do.
I will say I think MGM is nice. I do think the rooms needed help, but I do not hate MGM as much as some of you. But I'm just trying to relay your opinion, because there are a lot of you out there who feel it has fallen tremendously from being sort of the flagship. That is true, but I still see it as more of a mid upper scale hotel. And I think the new rooms kind of show that. They have kind of let it go, but I do think it's nicer than a lot of people give it credit for.
I mean, it's like the Paris of MGM.
Yeah, we love Paris.
I'd stay at Paris over MGM.
What about Westgate? They are now a member of Choice Hotels. And not just Westgate in Las Vegas, there's like 22 properties around the country. Westgate is a huge timeshare company, but the one in Las Vegas, the one that we talked about with its new Vegas loop station, that's the one you can also book with Choice Hotels. They recently made some improvements to their program, including their booking window is now 50 weeks. It used to be much smaller than that, and they've have some reduced sort of points bookings. If you have city thank you points, you can transfer to Choice, so that's always a good option. And Westgate, it's the only place that has the monorail and the Vegas loop.
Yeah, I think it's good to have another option to use points for, the travel hackers out there and everything. And choice, if you have a thank you point earning card, like the City Strata Premier, 3x on dining, groceries, gas, and that's 6x on choice points when you transfer them out. That's pretty great. And it might be one of the better options to use points. I mean, most of the time, Vegas, at least during the week, is not a good option for points because it's so cheap. But this could, play well. And I think Westgate's an undervalued property a bit. How cool would it be if you could book into those suites we talk about all the time, the theme suites with the points? I wouldn't envision that being a possibility, but it'd be really cool if you could.
And of course, Choice is partnered with Circus as well. So, you can do a Circus
What they call it?
fun thing.
Circus? Like premium?
Yeah. The Ascend collection or something. I don't know. But I think Treasure Island and M Resort are there as well on Choice. So there's a lot of options, but good for Westgate. And somebody said, hey, you could take the monorail from MGM to Westgate and then the Vegas loop over to Resorts World. And that might be a better way to go. I think that would probably take a lot longer, but it's certainly there. But let's talk about that. There was a video going viral about the Vegas loop, specifically that connection from Westgate to Resorts World. And it was from Casino Comp Wallet, Vegas Policy. And there's a stoplight down there and it took forever. Like there was no cars going through there. Like one car went through there and they sat at that stoplight for a long time.
All right, Sean, it's been 4 years. Are you ready to admit that I was right all along, that this is going to be not useful, not beneficial? They basically just added a lane of traffic underground. If you got stoplights and everything and you're pausing for other cars, it's only going to be more chaotic as they add more to the loop. I don't think it's going to be that much quicker. So you moved one lane underground, which probably won't alleviate much pressure at all. And, the fallacy of adding lanes makes traffic better, which has been disproven. All that stuff. Are you ready to admit?
No, because I think they need longer vehicles, bigger vehicles, and that'll solve the problem. Yeah, there's definitely some issues here with capacity, and we'll see how they scale it up. But it is a little bit concerning to see the traffic lights and how it's all working right now. And you point out it's been 4 years. I came across my article about Vegas Loop when it opened, and the first time I wrote it was May of 2021. And it's crazy to think that it's been almost 4 years, and this is as far as we've gotten.
Yeah, and the whole selling point was that these tunnels would be dug out really quickly. Everybody builds their own thing. It's paid for by Boring Company, which I think definitely they dig them out quicker than traditional stuff. But it doesn't seem like hooking them up or combining them to the built out areas is moving along all that quickly. And then we had always thought that it was going to be these long cars under there, or, as everybody said, just put some trams under there or something, put some train track, all those things. It was supposed to be autonomous. We didn't get that. Like, it just seems like nothing really played out the way it was expected, which is kind of par for the course when you're talking about big projects, but still a little bit sad.
And not good for Boring Company, because this particular video went very viral on multiple social media platforms with people saying how insane this is. The normal people saying, why don't you build a subway? Subways cost about 100 times more. I don't know, a lot more than this does. So it's not a subway. It won't have the capacity. We will see how it all is done when they have all of their tunnels and stuff, but it's,
get a bigger drill bit. Just go there instead of the 16-bit, get a 24-bit, drill the hole, and then you can put a subway in there.
If it was only that easy, Mark. If it was only that easy. As a reminder, we have our Patreon. $5 a month gets you access to our weekly after show. Tons of fun, behind the scenes discussions of Vegas. Patreon.com/MTM Vegas for all the information. And thanks to everybody who supports us over there. So the Raiders are in the news. They have hired their 5th head coach in 5 years. Sort of crazy to hear that, but Pete Carroll, the longtime Seattle Seahawks coach, USC Trojans. He was the coach, I think, all the way through 23 of the Seahawks, and he's won a Super Bowl. I think this is a big name and a good one for the Raiders.
Yeah, I think it's a big name. I mean, he's older. I think he's like 71, 72, so it's a bit of a weird choice for that. I never thought he should have got fired from the Seahawks. Thought he was doing a fine job there. They haven't really improved on anything since he left, I don't think. It's kind of the same. And I get this, that maybe he'll be like a stabilizing force. I would encourage him to, pick a coordinator, offense, defense, whatever, and groom them to be the next head coach. I doubt he wants to do this. I think the deal was for 3 years. I doubt he would want to do it for much more than 3 years. So you kind of get like maybe a coach in waiting, pick between the two. If that's the plan, I get it. If not, if they don't have like an end goal in sight here, it feels a little bit strange. I know the stuff about Russell Wilson being a free agent and the talk of that doesn't make sense to me, because he's the one that sent Russell Wilson packing.
Yeah, I think overall the takeaway is hopefully this stabilizes the team a little bit, which they need. We've had some off the field incidents.
Do you remember his time at USC? I don't think he's good for that.
So another story broken by Vital Vegas that we can't independently confirm, but the Mohegan Sun will be out at Virgin beginning on March 4th, and then they'll launch their new loyalty club March 20th. And they had announced this previously, so we know that this is happening. Very good news. Virgin all under one roof. They also kicked Hilton out, kind of, and not in a bad way, but they went from being operated by Hilton on the hotel side to franchising, meaning that they'll be running the hotel, the casino together for the first time. The strike is over now. Maybe this is the rebirth that Virgin needs.
Yeah, I mean, this is the way we had hoped it would have been from the beginning. Integrating the hotel where they're managing it makes so much more sense with a casino program. You can give out comps better and all that thing. You can handle it better. You can deal with any issues you have on the gambling side or the hotel side a lot easier, and you can work within it, and all the dining and everything under one roof. It's better than piecemeal. I don't know if they did that just because of costs and everything when they were starting out, or they didn't think that they could handle it. But hopefully this is, a step in the right direction. Hopefully they bring that vibe that's been missing. It doesn't have the Virgin vibe in very many places there. If they can bring that in, I think it can still be a successful property. They have good bones in the hotel. The pool's not what it was, but it's good. It's just, they got to get, bring back the center bar, get people excited about it once again. Do what you need to do, and I think it could be successful.
And we've talked a little bit more on the after show than on the regular show, but my wife and I have spent some time in there and enjoyed it. Just being in the casino and stuff. It's grown on me, I guess, over time. Still don't love the carpet. It feels too dark in there, but I don't think they're going to change that anytime soon. But yeah, good to see that. We've had some decent experiences with comps and stuff from them compared to, let's say, station casinos or other local places. So we'll see what the new program is and all of the details on that. But I'm excited for this. I do like the property. There's still some stuff that they need to work on, but I think the integration is super good. And I haven't been there in a few months because of the strike. I didn't want to cross the picket line, so I'll head back in there soon and see if the vibe is still there. But glad that this is all behind them. They need this transition, and we'll see what the reinvention looks like.
Yeah, I'm curious to see, a year from now, what we're hearing about it, what people think about it. I think it definitely, there's a pocket there that's not being fulfilled in Vegas of what Hard Rock was. It felt like the perfect mixture, going from Hard Rock to them. It felt like they would kind of pick up where it left off, maybe improve a few things, update a few things, and just keep it rolling. And they kind of, drop the ball a bit. So hopefully they pick it back up. And we don't really have that in Vegas right now that fills that edgy void.
So on the last show, you talked about using bulldozers to dig up the desert. And I talked about the place that used to be where Area 15 is. And I guess it moved, and I did not know about that. Dig This Vegas is a thing, and it is located on South Las Vegas Boulevard, kind of south of the M Resort, north of Speed Vegas. And you can go out there, drive a bulldozer, dig things up, but be prepared to pay. It goes anywhere from like $195 up to $749, depending on the equipment and what you're trying to do. They do have mini bulldozers for kids starting at $2,750, which seems like a kind of a good deal. But yeah, I mean, this is serious, real construction equipment. You can even crush a car for $749.
Yeah, can we how some people wear kids youth XL to save some money? Can we pretend we're just kids and get the $30 bulldozers? I think that'd be kind of cool. But no, I mean, smashing a car for $750, I think that's it's expensive, but I mean, that sounds enticing.
Yeah, it looks really cool. And thanks to the commenters who let us know that it's still out there. Yeah, another unique kind of cool experience that's not cheap in Vegas, but I'm sure a lot of people have fun. I would love to do it. I just don't want to pay that much money.
I mean, show right off, right?
So another thing that came across my radar this week was Caesar's free drinks. And I was tagged in this on X. And I don't know if the angle of this picture is a little weird or if Caesar's went to plastic shot glasses or something for their free drinks. It's not quite that small, but this is what a free drink at Caesar's looks like these days. We don't really gamble there anymore, and so I haven't been into one of their properties and gotten a free drink since they've really made all these changes. I wonder if anybody out there who works at Caesar's or knows, are they still putting a full drink, a full shot in these drinks, or is it like half a shot? What are they doing? Because it's pretty small.
Yeah, are they putting less ice in? If it's the same pour, then they're just getting smaller cups, maybe saving a little bit of money there. But yeah, it's all the illusion. We talked about people with the big ice cube and filling up the glass, and they're like, oh, I'm getting ripped off, when it's the same amount of alcohol in there as if they got a short glass with not a lot of ice. So as long as the pour is the same, I don't think it's a big deal. It doesn't look the greatest, and it definitely feels cheap, especially in plastic. But if this is a way that they can keep the drink pours good, or keep the better end alcohol out there or the servers out there, whatever it be. If everything else is the same, I'm okay with this. It's just a question of, are they cutting corners on everything?
They're cutting corners on everything. Come on, Mark. We know the truth. I mean, this
It is Caesar's.
Caesar's. It is something when you go to a casino and they bring you a proper drink, proper sized drink, and you feel good. And a lot of the nicer casinos do that. And I don't know. I just don't like the way that looks, but you chime in. I guess if you're getting the same amount of booze, it's okay. My guess is you're getting less. And, I doubt that they have the nicer liquors. I know my big pet peeve, I wonder if it comes across your radar, but when a casino gives you free like Pellegrino or Perrier or something, those are the casinos I like. I don't know. There's a lot that don't do that. And then there's places like Sunset Station locally that does it. That's not the nicest place in the world, but I always like to get my sparkling water. So more casinos should do that.
I hate when they charge you for Red Bull, where they'll, give out, some places will be like, oh, you can have this, but if you want the Red Bull, you got to pay for that. And it's like, oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah, there's nothing cheaper feeling than when a cocktail server tells you, oh, you got to pay for that.
Yeah, you're not gambling enough, Sean.
That's for sure. So another quick thing coming from Carrie Balicki, this is the MGM valet hack, and I did not know about this, but if you pay for valet parking at MGM properties, you get it for 24 hours, and you can actually take it out and move it to another MGM property. It says it right on the ticket, and she posted a picture of it. Cosmo isn't on the ticket yet, but we just don't know if it's integrated or not, or maybe they're using old tickets from before Cosmo, so not 100% sure on that. But I guess, they're charging a ton of money for valet parking now. But if you're going to do that anyway, it's nice to know that you can utilize it in multiple places on the same day.
Yeah, it's a really cool tip. And we've already said several times that she's a really good follow on X or Twitter. So definitely follow her there. But how many people do you think are going to drive to a place they don't want to be to save $5 because the valet is cheaper there to go to the place they want? This is just like the getting the free stuff from gambling. And somebody's going to do it.
I don't know. I remember the days of valet parking. It was free everywhere, a couple buck tip, and every casino, the local casinos, just every casino you could valet. And it was such a great service, and it kind of differentiated Las Vegas from other places because you felt a little fancier because you were valet parking, and everybody did. Now, I will say that most of the time I never valet just because there was often a long wait for it, especially in the days when it was free. And I think that that's changed a lot because less people are paying for it. And so it's probably a better service now than when it was free. But I do miss those days of free valet everywhere in Vegas.
Yeah, I think, I haven't been to a Detroit casino to valet in a while, but they used to be free here too. I don't know if that's still a thing. I haven't been in a couple of years to valet. Self-parking so quick and it's not a monster property, so you can get in and out. But I always thought it was kind of nice that they offer it. And, the guys usually make good enough money off of tips that they're probably not paying a ton for the service and cost. And then they're making more in tips and everything. I mean, we've talked about in the past how valet people say they make more than they would be an engineer or whatever it be that they went to school for. They just never left it because it was so good. And I wonder if that's still the case with the charging and less people using it.
Before I get ripped for saying a couple bucks, I'm talking about like in the 90s, a couple bucks. I think now, what do you think? $5 is the kind of minimum that you would want to tip?
Yeah, I think $5-10 range.
Another big story, something big at MGM, Las Vegas locally hinting that there's a lot of layoffs happening at MGM among higher managers, a lot of shifts, some people being asked to reapply. Again, another story that's not confirmed, but seems to be sort of confirmed by multiple local influencers, stuff like that. I don't know. Is this a reorganization? We really don't know, but maybe this is a sign of bad things to come. Just worth kind of keeping an eye out on this.
Yeah, I saw somebody posted, and I don't know how legit this is, that, they were doing some shady stuff on the booking side where they would return some funds to their own personal credit cards instead of customers' cards, or they would book other managers at properties in different names so it wouldn't look like they're doing it for in-house people and stuff. I kind of always felt like the booking part was just kind of like a perk of the job, that you can just book people in from time to time and they kind of just look and turn the other way on it. The refunding to your card is definitely fraud. I don't know if that's true or not, but if that is the case, I think a lot of people are going to get fired.
Yeah, we covered a story, was a year or two ago. It was either Aria or Cosmo, where a front desk agent got arrested, remember, for doing that, for refunding stuff. And we asked at the time, how is that even possible to put in your own credit card to get it refunded? But clearly they haven't updated their systems if that is true. But I'm sure we'll hear more about this as time goes on, if this is a real huge shakeup at MGM. And let's close with this. El Cortez is getting so very close to opening their expansion. 7 to 10 days is what they say in the video. It's weird that we don't have an exact date, but they showed off the new neon on the outside of the building which looks beautiful. It matches up perfectly, more importantly. So the outside looks like it always has with some additional neon. There's a cool billboard on the side of the building that has Jackie Gahn, Kenny Epstein, who is the owner of El Cortez now, and he was Jackie Gahn's longtime right-hand man. They've been blowing up El Cortez. I think Vegas Matt started doing a lot of stuff there. He sells his merch there, and then other influencers have been going there. So I feel like El Cortez is sort of hitting its heyday as this social media world we're in is bringing people back to the old school feel there. And it's interesting that now we're getting the expansion, which we've previously covered. I really love the property. I remember walking through there in the 90s when it smelled like, well, yeah, it smelled. And let's just say that body odor, cigarettes, and more. And it is great to see what it's like today. Yeah, something like that.
No, I think the neon looks great. All the art we've seen on the expansion, the updates and everything look really good. One of the takeaways from the video is, man, Fremont Street East, and I'm sure this was like a weekday or whatever, was just completely dead looking, which is sad to see. And, on the weekend, it probably picks up a bit, but it just didn't seem like anybody was out doing anything.
They're all in the Arts District because it's just a better area. I mean, I hate to say it. I like Fremont East, but if I had to pick one, I'd be at the Arts District all day long.
I know, but I've never walked around the Arts District and felt like it was, over the top busy either. It's just kind of unique. Maybe those are the two under heralded sections of Vegas that you can get kind of that hometown vibe and not be over the top with people everywhere.
I think everybody just wants to get spanked on Fremont Street and they just never make it past that. They want that experience.
You said that so you can put the video up right now.
I will not put that video. I don't have permission from that person to put their video of getting spanked, but you can do that and it's a thing. So let us know what you guys think about anything we talked about. Virgin's changeover, the possible shakeup at MGM, Netflix bites, El Cortez, the expansion coming, everything else we talked about, the Stoplights underground with the Vegas Loop. Leave a comment. We do 2 shows a week, Tuesdays and Fridays, and we'll be back in a couple days with another show. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Talk to you next time.
They should have named it Netflix Blows.